All right, so I want to be very intentional about how I teach striking. And for self-defense, learning how to strike is important for a couple of reasons. The first reason is if we train our partners to throw proper, realistic strikes, then there's a greater chance that we'll be able to develop effective defenses against those strikes. And then the second thing is striking is also part of our arsenal, and we want to make sure that if we're going to use strikes, that they're effective. So that's a couple of reasons why it's important to go over them. We'll start with the first set. Is Ski, which is basically a punch, and there are various ways that we'll do a punch. And so we'll start with Ski as the first one. This is a mid-level punch, and so I have my feet, about shoulder width apart. Toes on the back foot are pointing at the heel on the front foot, or they're in line. Sorry. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to step and I'm going to punch. And so when I do my punch, I want this to come straight out from my body. I don't want to pitch myself forward, but I do want to have a little bit of weight in there because, if I have my weight in there, I'm going to get a stronger punch, for any given level of strength in my arm. And so what I'll do is I'll come forward and punch. Most basic level, I want to practice the stepping so I have a solid base and then punch from there. As time goes on, they come together, or even sometimes you can throw the punch before the step settles. But connect your body to the strike. I'm not hitting with my arm, I'm hitting with my body. My elbow is down to help keep my arm in a strong position. I'm rooted to the earth. If I flare my elbow out, then this causes this type of vulnerability, and then I leak power this way. So here I get everything in. As far as targets go, I want to hit a couple of inches in my target. I don't want to punch way through them. Because if I do, it's more of a push and I'm not getting the energy into them. So I'll step through and do that. So there are a couple things. There are different schools of thought about integrating your hip in. There are different ways to punch. I think whichever way comes most naturally. I learned putting my hip in the punch, but there are other ways to do that too. So that is Ski. And the same mechanics apply to other punches. So we'll start with Ski, which is a head level punch. And so, same thing, but I'm punching at head level instead of chest level. And then we have Ski, which for me, I've seen versions that go like this. This is not super realistic, I think. I think this is going to be a more realistic one, particularly combined with a grab to the head, kind of a gut shot. So I'll come in here. So there's that one. Then we get on to those are what I call the thrusting punches. These are more of the arcing punches. And so we have Ski, which is going to be a round punch. It's not necessarily going to be a big like tornado thing like that. It'll be very similar to a punch, but it'll just have a little bit of an arc to it. I'm not hitting straight ahead. I'm hitting more like the side of the face, or something like that. And so I come in here. Like that. And then finally we have Ski, which is going to be a rising punch. This is going to be more of an uppercut. And so I come in here. And so here. So that's Ski. And so, developing defenses for all these punches, certain punches at different levels, there are different techniques that will follow naturally from that. Those are the 5 basic versions that I teach. But there are also some others to be aware of. There's Yakutsky, which is going to be cross or reverse punch, and I can do any of those, with cross footwork. So here, and so if you find out that you deal with one of those, like a cross, the defenses are a little bit different. There's a little bit of difference as to where you go to off balance and things that follow naturally, but you can still do it, and it's good to practice. And then the other one is Kazami Ski, which is going to be more of a jabbing thrust. And so here you practice dealing with the recoil, because recoil is a very natural reaction. It's not like somebody punches and they leave their arm out, for you to, have your way with them. So being able to sense when the recoil is coming and then follow in and then do something that's a valuable skill to have too. So this is ski, thrust and all of its variations